Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of Malt Magic, the Forgotten Kingdom of Nylin. Another exciting episode for you tonight. First of all, as usual, need to thank BattleBards and Tabletop Audio for the sound effects and sort of the ambience music. Check them out. I guarantee they will bring a new level to your RPG games, your tabletop games. Other than that, my usual warnings, adult humour, adult language, you've been warned. Other than that, sit back and enjoy the show. Nope, still hasn't gotten old.
Still the coolest thing ever.
Good stuff. So, last we left off, when I turn that phone off because that one's not pointing. So, last we left off, you had successfully made your way through the eerie, creepy, dead land of Ironforge and entered the forge itself, or the keep itself. Navigated your way following a suspect blood trail, eventually sort of navigating the corridors and finding the fallen angel Timiel, or Timiel, however you want to pronounce that one. And he made some revelations, some which were slightly more impactful than others. Dargon, you gave up your friend, Dawnbringer, so that she could be remade, but also discovered that arguably she had a hand, or a blade, if you like, in causing the desolation of Nylin, if you like, and the removal of Nylin from where it once was, and everything else that happened after that. You also discovered that Timiel was the wielder of Dawnbringer, and he was the one who actually delivered the fatal blow to the final king, the final brother. He then took you to the next prophecy, which you were successful in reading and understanding, thanks to a little bit of help from the spirit of the seer, who doesn't seem quite able to move on just yet. And then you proceeded to make your way out of Ironforge, and just as you got to the door, which had almost defeated you on the way in, and I suppose that's the bit we did gloss over, is the fact that Dargon almost didn't make it into Ironforge. Yep. But once you got back to the door, a bunch of spiders and a spider king had barred your path, but quickly dispatched with them, although you were certainly low on hit points. And then you went and got the horses and started to book it out of Ironforge, the area of Ironforge itself, only to be met on the road by a familiar figure whose final phrase to you before we ended last week's session was, "I told you I would see you in Ironforge." And that's where we're going to be in tonight.
And with that, I kick my horse and stride towards him with my sword out, because I want to try and swipe him down like I'm playing polo.
Okay, so first things first, I want you to make me an animal handling check.
Oh, I'm really good at those. Oh, get in, 18.
18, so you somewhere just managed to call upon that history of being taught to ride horses and spur the horse into action and begin to charge forward. And you say you want to make a swipe at him with one of your rapiers?
No, I've got me blood sword in my hand, because it never leaves my hand, and I will take a swing for him.
Of course. So you're going to swing with the Blood Moon Blade. So roll to hit, please.
Come on. 21 to hit.
Will hit.
But I'm only doing it one-handed, so I'm on a horse, so it's only a 1d8 rather than a 1d10. It's only 6 slashing damage. Is he a larger creature than myself?
No.
So I don't get the necrotic damage then?
No.
So that's it. So that's
and
it then.
that,
just like 6.
And with that, roll initiative.
Oh well, there we go.
Like what we were talking,
Dave was
like
talking.
no, we need to listen to what he's gonna say, and no. We knew it was never gonna happen.
Yeah, bloodthirsty anger.
So, Ander.
22.
22. Kirik.
14.
I'm going to write this down. Kirik, 14. Dargon,
15.
15. And then my main man, Bothrid, gets a 5.
Nailed it.
Oh, smack the mic with a pencil, that's always good. Smooth that out of the way. And the Eladrin gets an unnatural 20. So it will be under Bothrid. So, Ander, you slice across, and as you slice across, a grin forms on his face, and instantly you are... I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Of course. I'm on a horse. Does that make a difference?
No, just still make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
I rolled a 20 plus my 6, so 26. Thank you, D&D Beyond.
So you need to take... Bear with me. I need you to take 10 points of fire damage as flame just breathes around you and the horse.
Can I uncanny dodge that? On a horse?
No,
Okay.
not that one.
Good start.
Because it just
Good start.
breathes you around in flames. The horse itself is singed to within an inch of its life.
Uh-oh.
Is the horse still up?
The horse is just still up, but looking very badly burned. And with that, into initiative order, and we go again with you.
How far away are we? Or
So, yourself, Kirik, and Bothrid are probably a good 30 feet away at this point.
yeah,
And has literally just gone past about 10 feet and is now bringing the horse around, I'm assuming.
Is it too cheeky to ask? Did I do that fire damage because he did a reaction? Or can I tell whether it was the sword who did that to me for hitting him? Can I tell that?
Make me an Arcana check.
1. So I've got 6 altogether. Not a clue.
You're not really sure, but it's not something the sword has done before, so you suspect this is probably the Eladrin.
Okay. So I will dismount the horse.
Okay.
Is he facing me? I'm assuming so, because I just hit him.
So you've sort of charged past, sliced, and then you've turned the horse, and in that time, yes, he has now turned to face you, and as he turns to face you, he brings out 2 daggers and just holds them by his side.
And I will, in a fit of rage, I will use my last lucky point so I can do my sneak attack damage, because it gives me an advantage on the attack roll. And I'm going to come at him again with my sword, this time two-handed. Oh, 26 first time round. And, so 26 to hit.
26 will hit.
So this is 14 slashing damage.
Just reading luck.
So basically gives me an advantage on an attack roll, or a saving throw, or an ability check. And then I can... Oh, I need to...
advantage, though, is it?
Whenever you make an attack roll, an ability check, or saving throw...
You can spend one luck point to roll an additional d20. I'll say for the sake of it, yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. No, it's fine. Because I haven't rolled...
No, you crack on, because we've been doing it for weeks, so you might as well crack on. It's effectively the same as advantage. You're going to take the higher of the two.
Ooh. You sure?
Yep. Kill him.
Oh, people will be kicking off in the comments. Here comes the... with 10 sneak attack damage.
So what was the damage on the first bit, sorry? How much?
It's 24 total.
24.
Thank you. Yeah, it's 14 slashing damage.
Yep.
Cleric with rescue as usual.
Cut into him. Anything else you wish to do on your turn?
I would... Oh, I don't want to stand right next to him because he's next. I will... Does the move speed I've moved on the horse count as my movement speed? Or do I still have my full movement speed?
Bearing in mind you've dismounted the horse now and you've now moved up to him. So that was about 20 feet to move up to him. I'll say 10 feet for the sake of you literally spinning the horse around and coming back. So you've moved 10 feet to get to him and strike at him. You've now got 20 feet of movement speed.
I've disengaged back towards the group.
Okay, so you disengage and sprint back up towards Kirik, Dargon, and Bothrid.
Yeah. And in a moment of clarity after I did that, yeah.
As you do this, he turns again. I should have disposed of you when I had the chance, boy. And he just reaches out a hand. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, that's my worst one. 12. Ooh, right in the middle. It's not... Oh.
This beam of green black energy shoots out from his hand and strikes you in the chest. I need you to take 52 points of necrotic damage.
Can I uncanny dodge it?
Yes.
So that leaves me with 2 hit points. So I halved it to 26.
With your uncanny dodge, you literally just sort of turn at the last minute and catch most of the ray. And you can feel the life force just literally disappear from your body as you now sort of take a deep shuddering breath.
How many are you on under?
2. This was a bad choice.
Wow.
It's nice knowing you guys.
Okay, with that, we are then over to Dargon.
So I dismount my horse,
Mm-hmm.
pull out shield and scimitar.
Yep.
30 feet away from him, you say?
Yes.
So, I think first of all, he's talking a free action. To a degree.
6 seconds worth of... Yeah.
So, whilst moving forward to him, you bastard, what are you doing here and what do you want with us?
You doing anything else in your action? Are you waiting for a response?
Can I hold an action until he responds, and if I don't like it, I'm going to attack him? Or can I... Is it just
yes, you can.
Yeah. I will...
what's the action you're holding?
Well, in fact, actually, then, so... yeah, what I'm actually going to do then... I'm not going to go all the way up to him, so I'm going to stay 30 feet away. And I'm going to hold Magic Missile.
Okay. Kirik.
I don't know. I have no fucking clue what to do. Anders looking really bad.
Yeah, rush in full steam ahead. It works out really well.
Okay. I'm going to move. How far away is Ander from this individual?
He is now, I think, about 25 feet away, so he's about 5 feet away from you.
Oh, Ander's 5 feet away from me.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay. Got you. I'm going to move up to Ander and kind of dismount my horse, move in front of Ander, take my shield out, and kind of stay in front of him. I'm going to, with my other hand, I'm going to grab onto my holy symbol, and I'm going to attempt to cast Hold Person on him.
Okay. So that will be
Is a wisdom saving throw, please.
Natural 20.
Oh.
26 total.
Yep. Fails.
And again, this grin just appears across his face. And he lets out a small chuckle. Bothrid, at this point, takes out one of his javelins that is not the javelin of lightning, and looking and having been hit by this ray, eyes wide with fear, just launches this javelin towards the Eladrin. For a 21 to hit.
Oh.
Come on, Bufford.
And does all of 4 points of piercing damage.
Yeah, that was anticlimactic.
As this javelin just flies and strikes into the Eladrin just pulls it out, throws it to the floor. And we're back over to Ander.
Who is... am I on one knee at 2 hit points, or am I sort of just really...
You're still
sort of
standing.
hunched?
You haven't been knocked. You haven't been knocked
Okay,
down, sort of
so-
thrown or anything.
I would like to cast Earth Tremor. Oh, actually, is anyone... You just said Kirik's now next to me, isn't he?
In
Yeah.
front of you, yeah.
I probably shouldn't then. No, I will, because that shit me up a bit, cast Dissonant Whisper. So you've got to do a Wisdom saving throw, Wiz 13, casting it at 2nd level.
16.
Oh,
Fuck.
for God's sake.
So you take half as much damage then, but you don't have to run away from me anymore, so half damage, bugger. So it's 7 psychic damage. Oh, I thought I was going to make you run away.
Again, he
Do I want
just
to do
grins.
anything else? And as my cunning action, I think I want to disengage even further and move even further away from him, backwards.
Okay, so you're heading another... Is it 35 feet on movement speed or 30?
30.
30, so you move another 30 feet and sort of hobble up past Dargon and sort of hunker down behind the group entirely.
Don't know if that's clever, but I've moved away from the healer, but hopefully I'm out of range now.
He then looks to you, Dargon, as you have spoken in sort of this short period of time. Isn't that obvious? Give me the prophecy. Give me this damned prophecy, and I will not have to carve you into 1,000,000 pieces. It's been a while since I carved into orc. Even this bastard half version that stands before me. Yes, you may find new allies, but I will find you. And with that, he then reaches out with his... What are we going to do? He then... points again to Ander, who is still within range. And I need Ander to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Fucking hell.
Right. You're not going to believe me, but I definitely rolled a natural 20. I can share screen if I need to.
That's fine.
We're still going to take half. We're just going to put you
Yeah,
down anyway.
you take half damage of 152 points.
That is the one spell where you do not take half damage. You hear this bell dong through the air, and you find it in yourself and you shake it off. And then he frowns slightly, and then we are over to Dargon.
Cool, so... I was holding magic missile, so that's been burnt now, is it? I haven't...
Well, you've not cast it.
Okay,
so,
fine. I haven't cast it.
And we're back round to you anyway, so...
It's been nice knowing you, boys. And I'm going to charge forwards.
Okay. So you run up, and what are you doing? Are you going to do a shield charge, or are you just running up to slice at him?
Slice at him, yeah.
Okay.
So
you run up the 30 feet.
Yep. Two attacks with the scimitar.
Yep. Remember, it's one-handed because you've got your shield in hand as well.
Yep. That is a...
It's weird hearing you say scimitar.
Yeah. It's still a 26 to hit on the first one.
Yep.
For 11 points of damage.
Okay.
24 to hit.
Yep.
12 points of damage. And I'm going to use Action Surge to take one additional action. So I'm going to use Booming Blade. For a 19 to hit.
Yep.
So that's 4 points of thunder damage. 12 points of slashing damage, and with War Magic, I get to take one more final swing.
Fucking hell, go on.
Fighters, man.
Finally fucking know what I'm doing. Unnatural 20. I'm still going to die, but...
We'll hit.
That is 13 points of damage.
Yes.
And I'm also going to use Second Wind to regain some HP.
I think this is the best turn you've ever had.
So that's...
He pulled it out of the bag for this fight.
10 points of healing.
Cool.
That's
Garrick.
That.
Because I've seen what this guy can do, or at least part of it, seeing that Dargon is now engaged with him, I'm going to once again call out to the Raven Queen. I'm going to look at the space between Dargon and the Eladrin, and I'm going to say, to call out to the Raven Queen and say, "Let the void of death fill the space," and suddenly I'm going to cast silence in the space between the two of them.
Nice.
So
I have no idea what that is, but that sounds the coolest thing in the world.
So it's a concentration spell up to 10 minutes. No sound can be created within or pass through the 20-foot radius. Any creature or object is immune to thunder damage, and casting a spell that includes a verbal component is impossible in there. And then I am going
that
to...
would also stop me from doing anything if I had a verbal spell. I don't think I do.
Yeah, so we can't cast Thunder Wave.
I don't have one, but
yeah. Cool. That is... I'm going to move close. I'm going to move closer, kind of closer to the dome. It's a 20-foot sphere, so I think I'll put myself kind of 5 feet away from the sphere. Shield up.
Okay. As you cast this spell, what level was that spell?
Fuck off! I knew it!
you said it. You said it a few minutes ago as well.
Oh, it's a 2nd level.
You try, and the spell is just about sort of there and formed, and then there's just a sly grin forms in his face, and the spell has disappeared as he counterspells.
Yeah.
Anything else you wish to do?
Okay. Yeah, it's like I start moving away, and I see that the spell didn't work, so I'm gonna stay kind of within equal distance of all my party members if I can.
Okay, cool. Okay, so then Bothrid is going to rage, and he is going to pull out his longsword. And run up to the Eladrin, and as he does, he turns to you or turns back to you just before he starts running, shouts, "Run!" and headlong straight at the Eladrin, sword drawn. Goes in for his first slice with the longsword. Misses. Second slice. Misses. The Eladrin just deftly sort of ducks out the way. Back around to you, Ander.
I will. How far away is he from me at this point?
So you are probably a good 60 feet away from him at this point.
That's lucky, because the range on this spell I'm about to cast is 60 feet. So I will cast Ray of Sickness. Cock. With a 10 to hit. No. So.
Will not hit.
That's kind of pissed on me chips. I will then take the cunning action to hide. Is there anywhere to hide?
Around you, you're still sort of in the area where the trees were going from sort of alive to dead. You're just on the outskirts of Ironforge, so there's various trees which you can attempt to hide behind.
I will attempt to hide. I've got a cunning plan.
Okay, so with that, I need you to now make me a stealth check with advantage, please.
16.
Okay. Bear with me. Okay, cool. That's fine. I was just double checking the rules on hiding. So then the Eladrin is going to... What's he going to do? What's he going to do with Bothrid and Dargon both stood in front of him? He is going to... He's going to reach out to you, Dargon. And again, this feeling of cold just washes over you. And your AC?
18.
You feel this cold seep into your bones, and I need you to take 15 points of necrotic damage, please.
Halved.
Halved indeed, because you're... Nice. And at this point, your shield does glow and sort of collects the energy, and again the Eladrin cocks his head slightly, a bit confused. Your turn, Dargon.
You're not getting this damn prophecy. And go for Booming Blade again. Is it still running?
Cast.
Is it still cast?
Yeah, it's still running.
Fine,
yeah,
just two normal attacks then. 24. And I'll roll again actually. 16.
Just hits.
Holy moly, that was lucky. Uh, 22 points of damage, both swipes.
You do, you just cut into him.
I then moved round to the other side of the Dark Eladrin to where Bothrid is.
And even though he's been cut, stabbed, javelined, there's just still this malicious grin on his face. Anything else you're doing on your turn?
Nope.
Kirik.
I assume I don't see Ander because he's hidden.
Maybe a perception check.
Nope, I don't see him. That is a 10. So
you do not see Ander. Ander is truly hidden himself.
Cool. I am going to stay where I am because my companions might need me in a second, and I'm going to attempt to cast Sacred Flame on the Eladrin.
Okay.
So that is Dexterity saving throw, please.
You're gonna hate me.
Oh Christ!
That was another natural 20.
We're going down.
At least he's rolling these. At least he's rolling these on saving throws and no attacks. So. Cool. In that case, I will stay put. I'll try to. Are the horses just like going away?
There is one horse that is looking particularly almost dead, just beyond the Eladrin, probably about 10 feet beyond the Eladrin. The rest of the horses are caught sort of around you. Thunder the Warhorse sort of frothing at the mouth with his natural affinity for battle. Keen to almost get into the action, but without a rider staying put.
Okay. Sure. I will stay put then, next to the horses and looking out for my companions.
And Bothrid is going to rage Slice. First one's a hit. Second one's a natural 1.
Advantage, because I'm flanking him.
It's not advantage, is it? We said it was +1.
+1.
So it wouldn't have made a
okay.
difference.
Yeah.
So he then deals 5 points of damage as he slices into the Eladrin and is just growling and snarling. And then we are around to Ander again.
So, I will put my hood up to go invisible. And what I want to do is just sneak up on the Eladrin and move close. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to end up coming behind him. But obviously I'm a bit far away at the minute, so I'll just move 30 feet towards him.
Okay, and is that your turn?
I can't give Bardic Inspiration because it will give my whereabouts away.
It will.
So can I cast Healing Word on the horse? Will that give my position away?
Casting a spell will cause invisibility to. It's not greater invisibility, so casting a spell will cause it to become visible again.
Then no, I shall not be doing a thing.
Okay. At this point, the Eladrin pounds his fists together, and from the sky, columns of fire roar down. He's going to center this on just beyond himself, or he's going to place it just beyond himself, catching. In fact, no, bollocks to it. He casts this immediately where he stands as this column roars down. I need both Bothrid and Dargon to make dexterity saving throws.
Oh, shit. That went on the floor. Ah, bollocks.
Isn't Eladrin a fae?
Ten.
Creature.
We'll get to that in a second, Danny. So you take, both of
Billion
you
points.
take initially 11 points of flame damage, and then a further 11 points of radiant damage. So
Radiant
22
damage.
points of damage in total.
Starting to oh shit.
And then where's it gone? As a bonus action, the Eladrin just in mist disappears.
Do we get an attack of opportunity?
No. And then he appears 30 feet now near to Kirik. Sort of probably about 10 feet away from where Kirik stands now. And that will be it, as then the column of fire just dissipates. Dargon.
So he's now, if my math is correct, he should be about 30 feet away from me.
Yes.
So I'm going to run back up next to him. Whatever you need the prophecy for, you need us all as well. There's no point killing us. And I'm still going to roll to attack.
Okay.
He has moved though. Does he get Booming Blade?
Not the same sort of movement,
Okay.
because it was a teleportation. It doesn't doesn't take the same effect, or it's a teleportation style effect, so it doesn't have the same spell effect.
If I went to the nope, never mind. Yeah, fine. 2 attacks. Would it be an attack for me to shield barge him? As in an
Yes.
action, not so I wouldn't have an attack or anything else after that.
You have let me think. Yes, because that is using an object effectively.
Yeah. So if I wanted to try and knock him over prone,
Yeah.
I would be able to attempt to do that with my shield at a running
Yes,
charge.
so- okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you to roll a d20 and add your strength modifier.
Unnatural 20.
Okay, and then I think that's 1d4
I've got
your strength modifier.
Yeah, I've got my Tavern Brawler Strike if it's that, which is that what you just said. 1d4 plus 5.
It's a makeshift weapon, isn't it? So
Yeah, but it's but your melee attack can be accustomed to rough fighting. Whatever comes to hand can be a weapon. So that's
I'll let you have it.
yeah. There you go. That's 9 points of damage, bludgeoning, and it's in an attempt to knock him prone.
Okay, so he is going to make a Dex saving throw and is knocked prone.
That was my full 30 to get up to him. Yeah.
Yes. So now over to Kirik.
Have you got a spell like Coma or something that you could just cast?
Be nice, wouldn't it?
I am.
We could just
Am I next to Kirik as well at this point? If I've reached the 30
Kirik's
feet.
sort of about 10 feet away from where you are.
Okay.
I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going to stay because I think I look at Dargon and see that he's quite injured, but can't really waste this slot. So I am going to instead hold my action, and I'm going to shout, "Under whatever it is you're going to do it now!" And I'm going to hold my path to the grave after Bothrid's turn.
Okay. So Bothrid at this point, in his rage, just runs towards where the Eladrin is now prone, and is going to get advantage on his attacks. So first one hits. Second one definitely hits. So it deals a total of 13 points of damage as he just comes down and stabs twice down with the longsword. And again, even though the blade pierces the Eladrin and you can see the blood, he's just laughing.
At that point,
And,
my path to the grave was up.
Cool. Path to the grave doing...
It's double. He's vulnerable to all damage for one attack. Next attack that hits him is double. He's vulnerable.
So, with him standing up, what I was going to do was sneak up behind him and try and gouge his eyes out so he couldn't see us. But now he's on the floor, prone. That's a bit redundant. And with what Kirik's just done, I'm just going to rush out at the trees with me Blood Moon Blade and try and stab him right in the heart where his heart should be anyway.
Okay. So your attacks
With
will have
a-
advantage.
Well, so I'll roll again. That was a 23 to hit, but you never know, I might get a 20. 24 to hit. And I'm doing it two-handed, and it counts as a sneak attack, right? Because he's not... So this is my... That's a bit shit. 8 slashing damage.
Okay.
And here come the sneak attack. 15. Another 15 damage.
46 total.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anything else you're doing in your turn?
I would then like to turn. Oh, I see Eladrin's next. Then I would like to turn to Dargon and say, swallow your pride and use it well, and I give him Bardic Inspiration for his next turn. Or for 10 minutes, to be fair.
Remind me what that does.
So you can add a 1d6 to either an attack roll, an ability check, or a save throw.
Cool.
You can add it after you've rolled it, but before you tell us what it is.
Okay.
So over the next 10 minutes. And then, that counts as my bonus action. I didn't think that through. I can't run away now. So I'm stood next to him, am I? Oh, shit.
All of you are now stood next to him as he struggles to his feet slightly, laughs, and then just opens his arms as these tendrils of dark energy just fly out of his body. I need everybody to make a strength saving throw for me.
Oh no.
Also, I forgot, is he a fey creature?
Technically, as an Eladrin, they are fey touched, aren't they? So yes.
So I get advantage against magical effects from him. So does that mean I just get advantage on save throws? Because it's in
Let
my
me just
saving
look
throw
it up.
column.
Bear with me.
Yeah.
I think
It might be.
So would that be like-
humanoid.
medium fey. They are fey creatures.
So would it be against, like, if you tried to charm
So your
me,
blessing of the summer growth is usually against charmed effects. I'm just going to pull up your character sheet to double check. It's almost like I've
It just says magical effects from fey creatures, but I suppose it'd be up to you which ones.
I will say in this case,
Resistance to fey
he
magic.
is a fey creature. It's resistance to fey magic.
But in my
This
saving
is
throw
a
thing,
spell.
it says advantage
This is
against
a
magical
spell.
effects, but it meant,
This is a
Let me
spell
know.
being cast by a fey creature. Take
so
your
I just get advantage on my save. Ooh, yeah!
Yes.
I'm happy with that.
He's giving you because it doesn't matter. That's what he's
It
doing.
doesn't matter because I rolled a 1 twice. It doesn't matter. So
You rolled a
five
critical.
times.
You rolled a natural
Twice.
one twice. That's a
Yeah.
critical fail.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
double
aware.
damage.
Yeah, see how it goes.
Bothrid fails. Dargon
21.
succeeds. Kirik
13.
fail.
Yep.
I'm sweating.
Shit.
I've got a bead on it.
And you take 40 points of necrotic damage as these tendrils of dark energy just reach into your body, almost lift you up and then drop you. Everybody else who failed takes 20 points, and then I just need to double check Dargon. I think you still take half damage.
I can't
and
uncanny dodge it,
nobody-
can I? This is a critical fail.
It wouldn't have made a difference.
So is he
It
42, you
halved the
said?
damage. 40 points of damage, and it wouldn't have made a difference if you'd uncanny dodged it.
Oh, God.
So you still take half damage, Dargon.
Yeah.
So you take
think
10 damage.
Yeah.
I think I'm dead.
You're not.
As Ander drops to the floor, his life force gone, and you just hear this chuckle as the Eladrin says, "Finally, I am rid of that fool." You see the lifeless body of Ander on the floor before you.
They've changed how
lets out a
thing
roar.
looks. Oh, I'm not dead.
You're not
On D&D
dead. You're
Beyond, it looked like I was already. It looked like I was already dead because they've changed what it looks like on D&D Beyond. But
Yeah, but you
it just
didn't.
comes up with a big face with crossed eyes out, and I'm like, ooh.
As I say, because you didn't take 59 points of damage, so you're not.
No.
60.
Bothrid roars with his rage. And then
Sorry, did you also say something else after us taking damage?
so those that
Are we now grappled or
failed
anything?
can't take any reactions.
Okay.
You still can.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Okay.
that will then be around to your turn, Dargon.
I can still move, so we're not grappled by these, whatever it was.
You're not grappled.
Last ditch attempt. I'm gonna just continue to try and take him out. Two swipes. Oh fucking hell! Natural 1 and a natural 20.
Okay. So effectively 2 hits.
Fucking hell. Yeah. Right. So it's roll. It's double the dice damage. Yeah.
Roll 20 should do it for you now if you click damage.
Yep. Base double the dice, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's if you. Have you been using normal dice?
Yeah.
Yeah, so double damage. And then add the modifier. Double the dice damage.
17. Oh no. 17. 24 points of
34.
damage.
34. If you double it.
Yeah. No. Sorry. I doubled the dice damage plus 14.
Oh.
Plus 7 times 2. Yeah.
As you do strike into him. And now it's at this point you notice that despite your slices and your attacks, the damage is not quite what you expected it to be.
Because I got a non-magic fucking sword.
That sword is still a magic sword, it's +1, isn't it? Or +2.
Plus 2.
Still counts as a magic sword. All attacks that you notice that he's been stabbed, hit, everything is not having as much effect as you would have liked. Kirik.
Okay. This is not good. I am going to. Do we notice that the attacks haven't been doing as much damage as it should?
In that last round, yes, you have now noticed that it's not been doing as much damage.
I'm going to do something really stupid.
We like really stupid.
Works for me.
And I'm going to. It's not going to work, but it is what Kirik would do. Okay, I'm going to grab onto my holy symbol, close my eyes, and I'm going to kind of focus on the energy of the Eladrin. And I'm going to cast Turn Undead.
Ooh.
Fucking hell.
As this energy flows out and reaches towards him, he just looks and laughs. Not quite, my orc friend. Not quite.
That is fair. And still looking at him now that I've distracted him with my other hand, I will open it towards Ander and cast Spare the Dying as a bonus action.
Cool.
So he's stabilized.
He is stabilized, however, he's still on 0 hit points and still on the floor.
So does that mean I've
Just not doing
success on all me?
You don't have to do any saving throws.
Correct.
So you're not returned to 1 hit point yet, I don't think.
No, you're still not.
It's just stabilized.
You're just stabilised, so you're not dying. You haven't got to do any death saving throws. Unless you get hit again.
It's likely.
Bothrid, this point, in a total fit of rage, seeing your body drop to the floor, throws his sword down, flicks out his claws as they grow with that sort of greenish tinge to them, and just slices straight at the Eladrin and just whiffs straight past and roars in frustration again. The anguish and the despair clear in his rage. And at this point, before we get round to Ander, there is a blinding light to the left as 2 figures come running out. One of them lifts up a staff, and this bolt of energy reaches towards the Eladrin and just throws him off to the side. The other figure running, sprinting forward, huge, great carved, infernal-looking blade out, shield in her hand, hair flowing behind her, runs forward and just shoulder barges him further. They both turn back to you as the face of Thalania now turns to you, Dargon. Grab him and go. We'll hold him off. And the Witchwoods now stand ready to face the Dark Eladrin, who turns to them both. And we are round to Ander, who can't do anything. The Eladrin himself engages now in combat with the Witchwoods, and you see that familiar column of fire just descend. And then, while I just quickly do that, we're over to Dargon.
We owe you our lives. Thank you. And I will grab Ander, pick him up, and I'm next to one of the horses.
The war horse is nearby to you.
The war horse is nearby me. Kirik, Bothrid, let's go. Get Ander's horse. And I'm going to lob Ander on to the war horse, jump on, and go.
As you see Dargon lift up Ander's body, throw it onto the war horse. He himself, in some feet from somewhere, having not ridden horses very much before, just launches himself onto the back of this horse, holding Ander in place. And Thunder just gets that message and, like the wind, is gone. As Bothrid then reaches out with his druidic talents, calls both Anders and his own horse to him. He himself gets on top of his own horse and then just guides the other horse, and they follow as I'm hitting the mic again. Kirik.
I'm going to jump on my horse, and I'm going to ride right next to Dargon, if I can.
So you manage to
reach out, touch, touch, and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds, so you gain 12 points because you're unconscious, so you just gain maximum.
I gain 6 because I'm a.
Because you're a fucking twat with a sword.
And still, this energy sort of.
I cast
you just
inflict
about
wounds
managed
on Ander. He's down.
Get rid of him.
You just managed to get the spell into Ander despite there being some resistance, and Ander, your eyes flick open. Deep breath, and you feel just the buffeting as the horse and all 4 of you are now just going, and as you travel for sort of 10 minutes or so, there is just this huge explosion behind you, and you feel sort of the shockwave catch up with you. Your mind's only on one thing at this point: running. There we go. And you continue running and running and running. The horses at this point just blind bolting. And we are out of combat.
Holy.
With that, the horses themselves begin to slow somewhat after probably about 35-40 minutes of just flat out charging. It's getting clear at this point that they probably need to take a little bit of a breather.
Garrick, Bothrid, we need to care for the horses and heal that one.
Let's find a place that we can rest.
Yeah, can we look around for some shelter?
Yeah.
Trees or
So
something?
at this point, you've sort of found the familiar path, and with that sort of 25-30 minutes travelling, you can see the lake up ahead, sort of on your left, still probably a couple of miles away, but you do see various copses of trees, and you just sort of duck straight into one of them.
Cool. Yeah, so we start. Does anyone know if you can give a healing potion to a horse?
As we dismount, I will cast. Yeah, just as I'm kind of preparing my kind of like the bedroll and stuff like that, I will cast Mass Healing Word at the only spell slot I have available, which is level 4. So that will be everyone's up. So so how many people can I do that? Up to 6 creatures. So all of us and the horse that was injured.
The horse that was injured.
Yeah.
So that is 7 points of healing.
Cool.
It's not much responsibility.
Again, and they get
3?
3.
3.
So
You have to round down.
Points.
Yeah. Kirik, you get 7 as well?
Yeah, I'm on 25 now.
Cool.
So Bothrid's on 21. The horse is
Nearly back
looking
up.
reasonably okay at this point. No longer looking sort of on its arse. And you'll take a bit of a breather and take a couple of minutes to collect yourselves. And now having experienced for the first time that brush with death.
I take it that's who you've been fighting.
Yeah. That's the bastard who sent Dawncaller after us. He killed our friend. He turned Dawncaller. He sent a demon after us. And God knows what he wants with this bloody land. I want him dead, Under. I just don't know how
I fear
we'll
we're
do
not
it.
strong enough yet.
I agree.
I acted in rage and it nearly cost me my life.
You're right on that one. We owe them our
Yeah.
lives. We hope they
We're
survive.
certainly
whatever
stronger
they-
together.
Yeah.
Who is them? Who were they?
Well, that was the Witchwoods, wasn't it? Didn't you say?
Yes, so that was Thalania and Nathan Witchwood.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just in the moment. I was like, I'm pretty sure it was. He's a very good friend of mine. I didn't expect to see him here. Well, in this land, let alone popping out of nowhere to save our lives. They are both husband and wife and very powerful. I'm glad they came to our aid. They,
Remember, you remember having seen them in the Maltmaster's keep as well.
and also, if you
I hope
remember,
they made it out
as well.
alive.
if you remember, it was also Nathan, who came in also at that point during our little tussle in the town hall, wherever it was. So,
In Moonbright.
Moonbright, that was it. Yeah, it's nice to know that we do actually have some allies in this godforsaken place. The Malt Masters, wow. I was wondering why the hell they sent us, but this prophecy's starting to make it pretty obvious why they sent us lot. And, well, we're just gonna have to hope that we can get the support we need to take that bastard down.
That at least now we know what he wants. He wants the prophecy.
Well, that is one thing he wants, but why? I was too hell-bent on slashing at him that I
Maybe
wasn't going to
if
ask
the prophecy
anything
is us restoring balance, maybe he wants to prevent that. He wants to remain in chaos.
else. Then here on in, I think that what we need to do is we need to get the help of everyone we know, of everyone who wants to survive, and everyone in this kingdom who doesn't want this horrible nightmare to continue. I think we must get every help we can get to survive this. We aren't going to do it ourselves, but we are going to be able to take that thing down one way or the other.
Where do we start?
The Mob Masters. It has to be. They'll know how to rally the banners. We have to make it across the sea first.
We have to make it home. And
I have to make it through the night.
Well, we have to make it back. And I know that we had a plan to go to a number of other places, but I think we must go back to the keep first. Even if we have to retrace our steps, we know that we need to rally. I'll tell you what the first thing is, Ander. Ander, are you currently holding your sword?
I'm always holding my sword.
I'm going to try and grapple
That's
it out
not a
of you.
euphemism.
Well, where's his other hand?
Okay.
You're going to try and grab the sword?
Yes.
In that case, I will pull back from him trying to grab it and then swing at him with it.
But if you didn't know that I was going to do it, do I not get a surprise
If I
attempt?
succeed on a throw, maybe.
First thing is I'm going to need Dargon to try and make me a sleight of hand check, please. As you try to... Are you trying to grab it secretively, or are you trying to grapple it off him?
No, I'm going to try and grapple it off him. I'm a big guy.
Okay.
I'm lunging for it. It is a
Strength
surprise,
contest,
but
then, please.
yeah.
I've been
Strength
waiting for
contest.
this.
So that's just the standard.
Both of you just roll strength. So roll d20 plus strength modifier.
Yeah.
14.
21.
So, Dargon, you reach forward and Ananda's hand, and you just grab the sword, and hold it and pull it back.
And I throw it to the floor, away from me and away from Ander.
And I instantly run after it, pick it up.
I'm going to grapple you if you try.
Okay. I'm going to run towards the sword to pick it back up.
So yeah,
Okay,
I'm going to
so
tackle
now-
you to the ground.
So, I'm going to say, Anda, make me a dexterity saving throw, please. And Dargon, make me a strength check.
18.
18.
And again, please.
17.
23.
So again, as you rush to grab the sword, Dargon just pounces on you.
Kirik, get the sword away from him now.
And as Kirik runs towards a sword, I cast Earth Tremor on Kirik to stop him. He's not
Kirik
doing it
hasn't
yet.
run
All right.
for the sword.
All right.
So at the minute, Kirik is stood, looking, contemplating. Bothrid looking also confused. What are you doing? Stop! As Dargon just almost bear hugs you, holding you as you're sort of kicking and struggling to get back to the sword.
Can I cast Dissonant Whisper on Dargon, please?
You can.
Which you got to make a...
Whilst this is happening, I'm going to slowly make my way to the sword.
Okay.
Wisdom saving throw. Wiz 13.
Nine.
At this point,
You take...
how much damage?
13 psychic damage, and you have to run as far away from me as you can.
So at this point, Dargon, there's this lancing pain in your head as these whispers sort of seep into your ears, and you find yourself just stepping backwards away from Ander, who now drops to the floor. And Kirik, at this point, your hand is just about to reach and grab the sword as you've snuck round.
I would like to... How far away am I from the sword and from Kirik?
I'm going to say you're probably about 10 feet.
I will try and beat him to the sword.
Make me an athletics check, please.
Oh. Fuck. Oh! That's alright, actually. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, you do just manage to snake the sword out from Kirik's grasp, who wasn't moving particularly fast anyway. He was still contemplating what he really wanted to do. As you now then snake the sword, hold it, and then that voice in your head. Oh, we to finally dispatch these creatures.
And then I'm just holding it kind of at the group. Don't make me do this!
And we're not making you do anything. It's the bloody sword. Can't you tell that? Get rid of that sword.
And I know you are fond of that sword, and I know you think it's going to help you. Perhaps it will. We are all hot-headed, beaten. I think we all need to get a good night's rest. You too, Dargon. We will deal with whatever we need to deal in the morning. Right now, right here, this is not helping.
I'll say one more thing, Ander. Tim IL warned me of that sword. Think on that overnight. For me. For your friend. Please. Think on why he said that.
How strong is the curse over me? So what I don't know is how I overcome.
Well, the other thing is,
curse.
can't it be some sort of persuasion? Can't I persuade him in some way?
The curse itself will not be lifted through persuasion. Persuasion means persuasive means. However, roll... Well, in fact, no, I don't even need to ask you to roll me. Ander, based on what your friends are telling you now, knowing that you don't want to let go of the sword, but that there are bigger things at stake, what is it you wish to do?
No one will take the sword away from you, Ander. But right now, we need to recover.
I take out my other rapier and cut my hand off that's holding the sword. Thinking that it might be bounded to my hand, and if I cut it off, it may break this cursed bond that it has with me somehow.
So I am going to say, roll to hit yourself with disadvantage.
Yeah, that's true. Watch me roll like an absolute beast now. Disadvantage, my lowest one is a 9.
And your AC.
17. So I can't even hit my own hand. Right.
You go and you feel that compulsion to try and take your hand off, and as you go it just stops before you reach the wrist. No. Let us not be hasty.
And then I shout to the group, "Cut the damn thing off!"
I'm going to move in closer to Ender. I'm going to like grab the hand that has the rapier, and just kind of gently take the rapier away.
Are you going to let him under?
It's not the hand holding the sword, yeah.
Oh, you're
because I'm kind of fighting it. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry,
And,
got the wrong
and
And I'm kind of resisting really hard, just holding my hand out, hoping you can get this thing out of my hand in a moment of fighting this curse.
I'm going to take the rapier out, and I'm going to my other hand is going to go on Anders' other hand that is holding the sword. I'm just going to lower it. I'll just say in common, go to bed. Go sleep. Tomorrow is a new day. We will deal with this. And in Abyssal, I'm going to whisper, I can help you.
And in Abyssal back...
Then I'm turn around and just...
Does the sword know Abyssal?
You're going to find out.
Because I think I get what he's saying. And I will say back in Abyssal, I fear only death can break me from this curse. Take me over the line and bring me back, whilst removing the sword while I'm dead.
As much as I believe that we all very recently learned...
Unless you've got... Oh, you've got no spell slots, obviously you can't. Shit.
I now want to move over to Under and just go... I'm sorry, my friend. You're right. We need to stick together. I put my hand on his shoulder. We will all look after each other here. Bed and sleep is what we need.
Did the sword understand our plan?
You don't know.
You don't know.
It's a gamble.
So, what I said to you in Abyssal, do we act on that now? Or we're going to be asleep? Right, okay.
I'll say
okay, my
group. Sorry, Karen.
I was going to say, okay, my friends, I think you're right. We bed down for the night, put all of this behind us. I keep what is mine, you keep what is yours, and we'll discuss in the morning. Does the sword know I'm lying? Oh, hang about. I've just got a DM whisper. I'll hold the phone.
I'm about to reply.
I was looking at my phone thinking, who did?
Okay.
So...
Let's go to bed.
Yeah. I was like... yeah, and... that sword did look like it did a lot of damage previously. Hey, maybe it can be helpful.
Do I believe him?
Make me an insight check.
Yep, I believe him. I got a 3.
With this, Bothrid walks up, looks at the three of you, and just into the three of you, into the side of your face. Not enough to cause any real damage. Idiots! Danger! Sleep! Leave!
Truer words never said, Bothrid. Thank you.
And he turns, stomps over to where the horses are, sits, and watches. It's clear at this point Bothrid will be taking the first watch.
I was just gonna ask him anyway, so nicely, but magic.
Because it's been quite a emotional evening, I will, just before going to bed, I will ritual cast silence so that we don't have to listen to each other or the sounds of the outside. That will last until I fall asleep. Gives concentration.
Okay. So you
Just
all
before I do that, I
begin.
tell Bothrid to wake me up when he's going to bed.
I sit myself up against a tree, sort of slouching, laying down near it, and just look at my sword hand. Just in my head, just Dawnbringer. I
There
hope
is
you
nothing.
return soon.
You hear nothing back. Your words, though unspoken, almost seem to drift off into the wind.
And I will sit there, clutching the sword, watching everybody until I physically cannot stay awake any longer and just fall asleep.
You do feel your eyes getting heavier, clutching the sword sort of close to your chest. And eventually, your head lolls and you fall asleep. As you fall asleep, there is eerie silence again as the spell takes effect. And then Kirik himself dozes off. And we're going to take a short rest. Or a short break even.
For a wee.
Yeah. Wow.
Good stuff. So, as we bed down for the night, Bothrid sits in silence as the spell dissipates, but Bothrid himself just sits stoic, feeling the hurts of the day, but himself more internally angry at the way things are going. And his watch passes as he then walks over to Kirik and gives you a rather unfriendly kick to the side to wake you up. And as you wake up, he just shrugs off, goes and lays down, gets his head down and falls asleep. Is there anything in particular you want to do on your watch?
Firstly, I want to keep an eye and an ear out. See if I notice anything strange around where we are.
Make me a perception check, please.
10.
As you sort of look out, nothing out of the ordinary, especially at this point. You can see the path, or the sort of the road that you came down on. You can see the clear way back. But other than that, There is very little around here other than the road, the trees. The night itself is still. A little bit overcast, but you can still see some stars and the moon itself sort of popping through the clouds. But it is just a relatively still night.
I'm going to go into my bag. I'm going to take out my scrolls on Nylon. I'm going to open one. I'm going to open the one that has not been finished. I'm going to start writing information about Ironforge and about the area surrounding it in particular.
Okay.
Taking particular notice on the fact that I couldn't feel anything alive in the area. And I'll start writing what I saw and confronted when fighting the Eladrin. His abilities and just general information about them.
Cool. And it's at this point, as you're writing and sort of thinking, and as you look up to the sky and you look sort of back to where Ironforge is, just thinking about how you write about Ironforge, the faintest of light beams seems to be shimmering down now towards Ironforge, seemingly from the sky. I think you're on mute.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Lighting towards. I'll take notice of that and. Yeah, I'll just take notice and write it down.
Okay. Anything else you're doing in your watch?
I'll be that.
Cool. Are we having technical difficulties with Mr. Hodge?
Yeah, sounds like we might
I do believe so.
So, Kirik, your watch comes to a close and you go and wake.
Shit. I'll wake Ander up.
So you go over and Ander, as he's sleeping, is once again sort of almost hugging the sword in a way that's not going to cut himself, but is holding the sword very close, especially after the events of the day before.
Watch.
And I just get up, nod, and then I would like to spend my whole watch just looking at just staring at the group, but clutching my sword really tight. Not really keeping watch, more keeping watch over on them.
And you watch as Sargon snores a little bit. Bothrid himself has his back totally turned to the group, having been totally pissed off with a lot of you, to be fair. And despite you not paying attention, you do every now and again glance out. The night is still. And your watch passes.
I'll go over and kick Dagon to wake him up.
And again, much like Bothrid waking Kirik, the kick is not as friendly as it could be.
So does this now put me back up to... Is this now my long rest complete?
Yeah, so we can say that everybody now has had a long rest, and Dagon will take the last watch of the evening.
Cool. So, that. So I'm not going to do much. And actually, I am just going to take watch out towards where we came from, keeping watch of anything.
You sit in relative silence, and you watch now as sort of the sun's starting to peep over the horizon, and there's that pinkish tinge to the horizon and to the night, to the sky. Birds starting to sing a little bit. There's a sort of dewy feeling to the morning. Still quite cold on this island. And it all passes, the sun comes up. Are you making a fire or anything? What else are you doing?
Am I making a fire?
Approaches breakfast time.
I'm not cold, and I'm a little skittish about, any attention. So actually, I'm not going to light a fire or anything, but I will. I will, when it's ready, wake the other guys up. So I wouldn't on my watch.
Okay, so you just gently wake the rest of the group up. Bothrid, as you wake him up, sort of turns, calms, nods, packs his stuff up in silence, and then goes to wait with the horses.
I walk over to Bothrid. I'm sorry, Bothrid. You're right. We shouldn't be fighting between ourselves. I'm glad you're with us.
Bothrid looks, nods at you again. We'll get back to keep.
Agreed. Will you be so kind as to, when we're back on the road, lead the way?
Yes.
You know how to get back.
Must get to Mountain Pass. Let us hope. No bird women.
I can agree with that.
Of course, you all pack up.
I'll move.
Kirik.
I'll move up. I'll move up to Anda, and I will ask, "How are you feeling today?"
I'm feeling more myself. I think you were right. A good rest is all I needed.
Yes, when you brush with death, you need to give yourself time.
Still desperately
I
clutching
will.
the sword.
I'll take note of
And
that.
you will notice that not quite the hug, but his wrist is clutching the hilt. Knuckles looking a little bit white, he's definitely gripping it tightly.
Yeah, I'll make my way to the
Sword.
horse.
And the sword at this
Yeah,
point
we've not got
Anda is
aid
silent.
anymore. Yeah,
No.
okay.
And has been silent since the conversation you had in Abyssal.
Ooh.
So you all mount up the horses and just begin to move. And you follow that familiar path back. You come to the crossroads eventually where you met Ethereal. And you come to the mountain pass. As you bend up, you see where you should have come out of the mountain pass, and Bothrid sort of points at his eyes, points at the sky as if to say, look, be aware. You entering the pass?
Yep.
He leads you into the pass and you make your way slowly. At this point, It's probably getting to around midday-ish, we could say. I'm taking a bit of a slower jaunt for the morning. And you make your way through the pass, and you can hear the flapping of wings above you. Certainly larger than birds, but they certainly don't seem to be coming any closer. You don't hear any of the familiar music. And eventually you make your way out of the mountain pass. You see that road that goes directly north, and then you see before you the plains that you previously traversed from Greenflower to get to this mountain pass.
Was it the plains, or was there an actual swamp at one point? Or was it all
The swamp
one
was
and
in the
same
middle
thing?
of the plains.
So after we've left the mountain pass, when I know that, you know, we can't hear the winged creatures, I call to Bothrid, not too loud but so you can hear it. Try and swerve that swamp, Bothrid. We don't want to go up against anything again.
Bothrin nods, kicks the horse, and this time takes off at a little bit of a quicker pace and starts to gallop a little bit across the plains, feeling the need for haste. And the ground does start to become a little bit boggier, and he turns off, sees if he can find a way around. And the bog itself is quite expansive. It takes maybe an hour to find a way that begins to traverse around it. And then you continue on your journey up, stopping midway a little bit for some quick lunch, quick rest of the horses before mounting up again and continuing on your way. And you travel Bothrid at this point, clear in his direction, using, as he can now see the sea to his left-hand side, using that to guide him back, and eventually starts to see the familiar trees of Greenflower, as the sun at this point is beginning to dip, and we are in the stages of early evening.
How are the horses?
During the... Sorry again, sorry?
How are the horses?
The horses at this point are looking tired, but Bothrid is keeping them going, urging them on, knowing that they are close now to being back home. As you approach Greenflower, the clouds have got thicker, it's becoming very overcast. Rain begins to fall again, it becomes heavier, the ground beginning to get boggier underfoot, and eventually you reach the outskirts of Greenflower. What are you doing as you enter Greenflower?
I'll say to my companions, well, seems that we managed to keep the horses alive. And then I'll look to Dargon and say, fortunately we'll have to get them back. I can do that, I don't mind.
That's very generous, Gary. I think we should all take them back.
Very well.
Okay, so you make your way along the path that led towards the stables and the stable master. The village is fairly quiet. There's lights on in the windows in terms of sort of you can see fires through the windows. So too with the stable master's abode. He is not himself out working the stables or working on his knickknacks and bits that he had to repair. You walk up, sort of hang on the door.
Who is it?
I reply in Orc. It's Kirik. We took some horses from you 3 days ago.
It's about like a week and a bit now.
We took some horses from you, and we're happy to tell them that they're back. So
And he opens the door. Did you bring Thunder back?
Yes, of course.
And he turns. At this point, Thunder whinnies a little bit and sort of makes its own way, with Dargon still on its back, towards Grellan, the stable master. And Grellan greets him like an old friend, touches his head to the horse's nose, and you can just hear him whispering, "Good to see you. Good to see you, buddy."
I dismount and running my hand up up the horse's neck, just come up and say, "Thank you for bringing us through that." And I turn to the orc, and thank you.
Thank you for bringing Thunder back. And my others. Although, as I said, should you wish, they are yours.
We are about to cross the sea, so I don't think it would be a very good thing to do. Where we're going, it might be too dangerous for them. So I think it's better if they stick together here.
Very well. You have my thanks.
So, it's food and rest before heading off, I assume.
Well,
we need to negotiate a price for you on our return voyage.
I was just thinking of going to see Captain Swift and seeing how many days before they set off again. It would be good to know that information.
How long would that take you to go there and back?
The docks is just outside the village, isn't it?
It's probably like a 15-20 minute walk from here to there.
Okay.
I'll go and speak to them. If you want to come, feel free, but otherwise, pop back to the tavern and I'll meet you there.
Yeah, there's something I want to do beforehand, so...
The orc at this point turns to you and says, "Strange things are afoot again. If you can, get out of here as quickly as you can." And he takes the horses, ties them up, and then he himself returns, closes his door, and you can hear him lock it. And at this point, you notice nobody is out. Nobody is outside in Greenflower. The crops, however, are green and flourishing once again.
What do you
So,
think? that's all
Dargon, you're
about?
making your way to the dock. Carry on.
I was going to say, well, I was, cause, then we're just going to go back to the tavern. But for now, turn to the to the guys. What do you think that's about? What do you want to do? Should we all go to the ship and see whether they can get us out of here, or should we wait? If we have a few more days, there are places we can go visit. But if we need to get back to the Malt Master's Keep, and I'm all for it, then we get ourselves back ASAP.
If the captain has been residing in the town, she may know more.
It's a very good point, Ander. I think that is definitely our first port of call to go and talk to them.
There is something I need to do. There's something I need to do alone, and I'll be back with you in the tavern within half an hour.
We'll see you back at the tavern in half an hour.
Okay. So, Ander, Dargon, you make your ways back towards the tavern. Kirik, where are you heading?
The graveyard.
We're not going to the tavern, we're going to... Well, I'm going to the ship. That's what I mean.
Sorry. So you make your way you and Ander make your way through town, past the tavern, find that familiar sort of dusty path that leads out towards the docks. Where you see the Winter's Tale, you see the mast of the Winter's Tale still docked in the bay, if you like. Going back to Kirik. You head towards the graveyard.
I'm going to make my way to the place where I saw that the girl was being buried last time I was here. I'm going to sit and I'm just going to kind of take in the energy around. Is there anyone here?
There is no one around.
Cool. In that case, I'm going to place my shield in my lap. I'm going to look at the ravens on it, and I'm going to close my eyes, and I would like to cast Sending.
Okay.
I'm going to do this 3 times. To 3 different people. The first one I want to do is to TML.
Timiel?
Yeah, TML. Oh shit, 25 words, fuck. Okay. Timiel. It's Kirik. From the group that came to see you, shit. How long before you think Dawnbreaker will be ready? Is everything
You've got 5 words
okay? I know. Is everything okay with you?
And as you compose that message, the eyes of the shield themselves glow red and then fade. Second one?
I get no reply.
Second one?
Okay. Second one is going to go. I'm going to try and focus on the individuals that saved one of the individuals that saved us.
Okay.
Thank you for saving us. We are at Green Flower. We plan on meeting the guild. Let me know if you are still alive.
And at this point, you feel something come back, and in your mind, you hear the words of Timiel. I survived. Dawnbringer will be ready when it is necessary. And that's all you get back. And a couple more moments pass. And this time, a little bit more of a frantic voice. We shall see you at the keep. All is not well. Your third sending when you're ready.
I'm going to cast Sending to the Eladrin. The prophecy stays with us. No doubt we will meet again. When the time comes, when we next see each other, your tricks won't help. That's it.
As you send that final sending, the eyes on the shield glow, but they do not diminish. And almost instantly, in your mind, very calm, very quietly, we shall see my half-orc foe. Tell Ander I say hello. His time is coming. Till next time.
Yep, I'll get up and I will... No one's out, right?
No one is out.
Okay. I'll make my way to the tavern then.
As you turn and begin to make your way back to the tavern, the eyes on your shield are still glowing. And as at this point, you begin to feel the slight rumble in the ground. And then you hear the ground shift as a hand reaches out of one of the graves, pulls itself up. Then another, and another. More and more reach out of these graves. And then from the grave in the centre, where the shaman once was, or laid, his rotting, decomposing body erupts out, glowing red eyes, and he looks at you. All the zombies and the shaman make a beeline for you.
Turn undead.
What are you doing? Say again?
Turn undead.
Okay.
If they are CR, we're level 7, right?
We are, yeah.
Yes.
If their challenge rating is half or lower, they are not turned. They are destroyed. Otherwise, they need to do a wisdom saving throw.
So, are you turning them into undead? Is that what you're doing?
Turning
No.
undead just
I'm
pushes them
turning
away.
them around. Turn them around, and they need to run away from me. I believe that is
So if they are half, you say?
If they are half or lower, I believe it's they still need to do the wisdom saving throw.
Okay. So, I'll do the shaman first.
Hold on.
Do Ander or I hear anything from wherever we got to?
No, and we'll say while Kirik's looking this up, you guys have made your way over to the dock, and as you approach, there is a familiar voice. Stop! Who goes there? Gore himself holds a lantern out.
It's I.
And you see
Dargon.
that the goblin looks down. Come closer.
You mean you no harm? We've returned from our travels.
And as you step into the light, he sees you now. And you kept us waiting. Something is afoot. Quick. Get back on the ship.
What? What is it? What's been going on?
We don't know. Clouds came very quickly. Something foul on the air.
Alright. I better go back and get Kirik, Ander, Bothrid. Get on the ship.
Bothrid doesn't need telling twice. Bothrid immediately runs up the gangplank and gets on the ship.
So I turn tail because I want to go find him.
So you turn tail at a sprint and begin to sprint towards where Kirik's going. Ander.
I ask the sword whether he senses any imminent threat or anything at all, really.
There is no response. You get no response from the sword. Dargon, at this point, you're unsure where Kirik went. So you spend some time trying to find him. Kirik, back to you, doing your turn undead.
Wisdom saving throw if they are within 30 feet and they can see or hear me.
Okay, so I'm going to say that based on the size of the graveyard, it's going to be about 5 of the normal zombies plus the shaman. So the shaman gets an unnatural 20.
Yeah, the save is 15.
Cool. So one zombie is turned away. That's a jack die. It's the same score effectively as what it was going to land on. 2 zombies turned away. 3. So 4 of the zombies that are in range turn. And in fact, 4 of those zombies, as your spell sort of bursts out, just wither in place and drop destroyed. The rest now begin to make their shambling way towards you. As at this point you see that the shaman, withered stick in hand, is almost floating across the ground. And he reaches out, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Good at those. That's a 21.
So you feel that familiar, paralyzing spell that would hold you in place, and you manage to shrug it off.
That's not good. Cool.
And at this point, another zombie. More and more. At this point, the whole graveyard looks like it is rising. And on the winds, you hear the laughter. At this point, Dargon, you sort of hear the sounds of arcane magic and spells being cast, and you sense or can hear some movement from the graveyard, and as you sprint up, you see Kirik, shield in hand, facing as this army of undead zombies rises. The shaman at the front, as they now make their way towards Kirik. You're on mute.
Can't hear you, Dave.
Better?
Yep.
Kirik! Get out of there! We have got to go! But I run up towards him. If there's any, if there's any undead in between him and me, I'm just going to try and cut them down to give him a path to get out.
Yeah, at the minute, they have not reached him. They're still coming from the graveyard.
Okay.
So you get up in line with Kirik.
Yeah. Shield ahead. We need to get to the boat. Now. Come on.
Kirik is not listening to you.
Kirik, come on. Let's get out of here. I start.
Cast another turn undead.
I'm going to say at this point, roll initiative. Everyone.
I'm not there, I'm on the boat.
Roll initiative.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
Argon.
6.
Ander.
9.
Oh dear. 3.
Nailed it.
What's,
Go team.
Bothwell on?
Bothry got the highest out of you lot.
That's what, 10.
Bothry got 17 on his initiative roll.
Oh,
sorry.
wow.
Good man.
What did you get, Danny?
9.
The order is
9.
Bothrid, Ander, Dargon, Kirik.
Yeah.
So at this point, Bothrid would be up first, but he's not here. So the shaman again turns, and at this point, seeing both of you, see if movement speed moves up the 30 feet to get to you. And then, much like the Eladrin previously, his arms just open out and these tendrils of dark energy just lash out. I need strength saving throws from you and Dargon.
Unnatural 20.
Natural 1.
Shit.
So you will take 28 points of necrotic damage with a natural 1. Dargon with a save, I don't think you take half damage, so you would take 6, 7, 8, 9, 14. You take 7 points of necrotic damage.
Is that also halved because I'm wearing my armor? Or have you already halved that?
No. So you need to halve that again, so that will be 4. Kirik, you can't take reactions until your next turn.
Ooh.
Cool. As then one zombie begins to move towards you and is going to not quite get there. In fact, they all make a move towards you, slowly moving up. Ander doesn't know what's going on. Dargon.
How? So they haven't made it to us yet.
The shaman is literally right up next to you.
Okay. And how far? Are we're inside the graveyard or next to the graveyard?
You're next to the graveyard.
There's no enemies behind us or anything at the moment.
No.
Okay. I'm going to drag Kirik back.
Kirik, are you willing?
You can't take a reaction.
Reactions.
Can't take a reaction. Grab him. And you begin to pull.
Which I believe would be at half speed.
Yes.
But
So
I will
move.
But I will action surge to do that again. So I can go my full movement.
Cool. So you managed to pull him 30 feet back. Kirik. As you are being sort of dragged by this
Going.
Goliath.
Come on, Kirik. It's not a fight we're going to win. Let's go.
At this point, kind of.
Can't I make a persuasion check
how-
against him as well?
How far am I from? How far am I from the nearest kind of undead?
So the nearest undead would still be the shaman or the body of the shaman, who is now about 30 feet away from you. And then you've got the first group of zombies, if you like, about 40 feet away from you at this point. Beyond that, there's some at 50, some at 60. And beyond.
Okay, whilst being dragged, kind of getting the sense of what Dargon is saying, but still, I'm going to cast light on the shaman, kind of still like laser focused, being dragged, laser focused on the shaman. I'm going to attempt to cast light. That'll be a Constitution saving throw, please.
A natural 12.
Fails.
Fails.
Sorry, it's a lot of dice.
Well, this is going to be a lot of damage. If I start saying random numbers, which
32 points of necrotic damage.
I was really tempted to start going 17, 32, 75, just to put you off seeing start again.
Said 32.
Oh, balls! I did not read my spell. Has no effect on undead or constructs.
You shooted blanks.
Yeah.
As
It's
this
hitting.
just and washes over, and the shaman's eyes flash brighter red, and you can see it looks like he's about to begin to move towards you. Anything else you need to or want to do on your turn?
That's fair. There is nothing else I can do, so I will probably at this point, seeing that I've kind of made a mistake so blatantly, I will move with Dargon so he's not dragging me anymore.
Cool. So we'll say at this point the two of you turn and begin to almost sprint away from the zombies. And I still need... Let me Mr. Bothrid's token, don't I?
We may not come to this, but if we get close enough to the ship that I can shout, I'll be saying, "Cast off now!"
Cool. We're done. As you're hurrying your way back, and we'll just zoom in on that piece. And Bothrid and Gore at this point, they see you sprinting towards, and Gore sort of holds up the lantern in the darkness. And as you move closer, he gets the briefest of glimpses, sees the red eyes, and you can now see the red eyes glowing in the darkness. And then you just hear Gore shout, "To arms!" Charlie instantly comes running onto the deck, sliding up next to you. "What is it? What's going on?" "Enemies, Captain." And I've gone totally Scottish rather than the sort of foreign that I was trying to play. So, fucking voices, man. She looks out and she sees Dargon and Ander. She sees the glowing red eyes. She turns, looks around the boat. "Your call, Ander. We fight or we cast off."
We cannot leave them behind. We must fight.
"Do you not just wait till they get on board?"
Oh,
She looks at you with a bit of a sly grin.
I misunderstood your question. That makes a lot more sense. Yes.
Brallan then steps up, his sort of green flowing hair, his trident in hand. "Get the ship ready. I'll make sure they get aboard." And he sort of pumps himself up, walks slowly down the plank towards the beach at this point. And we're going to drag that across. I'm going to use some blue. We're going to put Brallan's going to stand here, at which point I'm going to need my mouse. So I'll say at this point you guys have probably bounded to about here.
Yeah.
And we'll say, whoop. He's probably tracked you about there. Zombies move a lot slower. Let's say these are starting to spread out a little bit now. I'm not going to move all of them because you kind of get the idea. And you now see, you see, or Dargon, you recognise Brallan at the foot of the gangplank, and you can just about see the light now as Gore shines the lantern, with Charlie and Gore sort of stood next to Ander and Bothrid, as you guys are now sprinting and sprinting and sprinting.
Can I,
at this point, we're going to
yeah, as I'm sprinting, can I fire magic missile at the shaman?
You can.
Cool. That is how many?
However, I'm going to ask you to hold that.
Yep.
Just because we are going back to initiative order. So Bothrid at this point takes out his javelin, and you see it's the javelin of lightning, and he just holds it in his hand, waiting for them to get closer. The shaman at this point is going to reach forward, and a beam of green-black energy makes its way towards you, Kirik. I need you to make in fact, it is a ranged attack, so this will be a 12 to hit.
This is shield up.
As the green energy just hits your shield and almost bounces off in a different direction. Zombies themselves just going to move that distance that they moved already. And at this point, just to show you where you are.
Okay. I will 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and then 5, 10, 15.
Cock. We won't do that.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50, 60. I think... No, I'm just going to move 30 feet towards them, but I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to ready ice knife for if they get in, for if the shaman gets into range to kind of to help them get onto the ship, basically.
Okay. Dargon.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll run my full distance first, actually. So I'll get 30 feet away. Turn back and magic missile at level 2, which I believe means it's 4 missiles.
Yes.
And fire it at the shaman, auto hit 120 feet, so it'll hit him. 4. $12 points of damage.
As the darts just pound into him, and he almost just doesn't seem to notice them as he just continues making his way forward. Kirik, is there anything else you wish to do on your turn, Dargon? You've moved your movement speed, you've used your action.
Yeah, and I've used my action search, I can't do it again, so that's it, I'm done.
Cool. Kirik.
As I'm kind of moving, I'm going to grab my holy symbol once again, and I'm going to attempt to try turn undead again.
Okay.
I believe it will only get the shame.
What's the range on that?
The range is 30 feet.
Okay, for the sake of this, because we are going to say they have moved a little bit. We'll say, yeah, we get 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We'll move them up. We'll move him up. Because they will have moved a little bit on their turn. I'm exaggerating the zombies' travel distance, by the way, but...
I think it's only 20 feet. Anyway, so.
It is only 20 feet, so I'm exaggerating it a little bit, just for dramatic effect. So you cast Turn Undead, so it will be those 3 that get it in there. So, the Shaman first. So Wisdom saving throw, yes?
Correct.
14.
Misses.
Okay. The zombies... Two of them fail, one of them passes. Yeah.
Cool. So the shaman is turned for 1 minute, and the other 2 are destroyed.
Cool. So, let me see. This wave of energy just wafts out, or sort of emanates out of Kirik's holy symbol. And again, it's sort of that black, weird, flame-like smoke that reaches out and passes over the shaman, who turns on the spot. And then as it hits the 3 zombies behind them, 2 of them just crumple into dust, effectively. Anything else you wish to do on your turn?
I'm going to say to the others, don't hit the shaman, and I keep moving.
Okay, so you're going to move your full 30 feet.
correct.
To get up
and
in line with Dargon.
How far away am I from the zombie? The closest one, the one that didn't get turned.
25, 30, 40, 50, 55, 60 feet.
Cool. I'm going to cast spiritual weapon.
Okay.
So the flying dagger, shaped like a crow's, raven's feather, appears, hovering in the air, and it's going to make an attack.
It's going to hover
14.
here.
Yeah, 14 to hit.
Will hit.
Ooh, maximum damage. 12 points of damage.
The dagger just straight into the zombie and comes back out. Actually takes a decent chunk out of the zombie and some parts fall off and it starts to shamble a little bit more difficultly as this creature can now be considered bloodied, although there's not a lot of blood left in it.
I think that's my turn.
Cool. So Bothrid at this point. What's the range on that? Is going to run up in line with Ander, and again he's just waiting with his javelin in hand. Yep, he's not that smart, so I'm going to stick with my original. The shaman at this point turns and just has to move away, doesn't he?
Yeah, I can only take its action to dash.
So dash is 15, and then we're going to say get to about in there somewhere, trying to get through the zombies itself. Well, that's where it gets to. So then D is 5, 10, 15, 20. You're going to move up to there. Put on. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Oh, that makes it nicer. So they are just rush past. A bit easy way of doing that, actually. Cool, one more to do. I'll make it up to there. Ander.
I am still just waiting for the guys to get on the ship. The zombies aren't close enough for me to hit them or do anything yet. So I'm just waiting in case, make sure the guys get on the ship.
Okay.
I'm assuming the sword's still not said anything to me.
Not at the minute, no.
If they're undead, it doesn't
Dargon.
care. Yeah.
I
Muted.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Cool. I will run my next 30 feet again. Past Bralin. Is it past Bralin or to Bralin?
You just sort of dart past Bralin onto the gangplank.
And then Zombie C, is it next to... Oh, well, he actually... Yeah. Whichever one of them looks most bloodied.
C and D.
Could I see which one looks fecked up or anything?
You've seen that C has had a decent chunk taken out of it.
Cool. Magic Missile, level 1. I can't do anything else at range.
It's like 95 feet to get to it.
Yeah, 11 points of damage to the one that's bloodied C.
Well, as these 4 bolts just pound in, 3 bolts, sorry, pound into the creature, it just clumps again and is dead. As the bolts just almost punch holes straight through it with the force damage.
That's my turn.
Kirik.
I will attack with the spiritual weapon to start with.
Yep.
That is a 20, unnatural. And 11 points of force damage.
Again, that blade just sort of punches through the zombie and then takes a decent chunk out, and just sort of this ichor and gore just begins to drip down rather than blood.
And as my action, I will look on the zombie that I just hit, and I'm going to cast Toll the Dead. So it'll be a Wisdom 15. Yeah, 15.
That was a 3, so that's going to be a 1. Not a natural 1, but an unnatural 1.
2d10s. Wow. So that's 9 points of necrotic damage.
Okay, as again, this sort of just Dolores spell casts out, and the zombie almost stops in its tracks and withers a little bit, but carries on very slowly.
Oh, sorry.
Pretty much on its arse at this point.
That's meant to be d12s and not d10s. Sorry. I'll do that. Okay. Yeah, I rolled a 12 and a 10, so that's 22 points of necrotic as opposed to 9.
As that bell sounds, so that the zombie takes a step forward and just drops.
Yeah, cool. Awesome, and I will move back into the... as far as I can go, really.
5, 10, 15, 25, 30, we'll say you get to there now. At this point, Bralin then reaches forward and holds his trident aloft, and as he does so, his eyes glow, and there is, let's say that's a 10, 15, 20, 25. So he then creates a sphere of fog, which has got a 20-foot radius. So, in fact, we're going to say cast it on the center. So the zombies are now it's going to be a very rough circle, but for want of it, this fog just begins to gather around them. And that will be it. And then he turns around and says, "Everybody on board, quick."
You don't need to tell me
point we're-
twice.
Back around to the top, Bothrid himself turns, steps onto the gangplank, runs up. Shaman at this point is still going to be pissing off the other way. And effectively runs all the way back into town. The zombies in the fog get a little bit confused and turned around and sort of stumble around in the fog. Stumble around and bump into each other. They're not sure which way to go at this point. So we're going to keep them there. Ander. Cool, right. I'm going to get straight back into this before everybody's connection drops. So, Ander,
Okay.
round to you.
I'm on the boat, mate.
So Ander just literally bucks it back up.
Double dash, second wind, and everything else he can use just to get in.
Go back to the encounter because we went through everything there. Dargon and Kirik, I'm assuming you guys are just backing up at this stage.
Yeah, fucking booking it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody
yep.
gets onto the boat, and then Bralin runs up, and him and Gore both pull the gangplank in, and you feel the ship lurch as the ropes are thrown from somewhere else on the ship, and the ship begins to just tilt and make its way. And then across the wind, you just hear a whisper. You will not be so lucky next time. Live in fear, for he is coming. And we're out of combat.
So I had to refresh again. Who said that? What you just said?
The voice of the Eladrin was on the wind, and he turned around and said, I can't exactly remember exactly what I said now, because it was
I got what you said, just not who said it.
Right, cool. But the crux of it was for he is coming. We're out of combat. We are done for the evening, but we are going to level up.
Yes!
Cool, so we're going to level up off screen, but with that, we shall end for tonight. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that is watching, everybody that's supporting us, everybody that's sort of following us on Twitter and Instagram and our socials. Other than that, thank you once again to Tabletop Audio, Battle Bards, and also Ben Sound, who I did mess off at the beginning. My bad. But thank you thank you to my wonderful players. With that, I wish you all a good night and a good week, and we shall see you next week. See ya.